Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, now I can see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils and snares, I have already come. God's grace has brought me safe thus far. Grace will lead me home. Come on, everybody sing. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, now I can see.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being here today. Many of you know who I am. I'm Joey Molland's brother-in-law, but for those of you who don't, my name is Thomas Wiggins, and I'm Joey Molland's brother-in-law. He was married to my sister for many years, and we're all here today to remember Joey, for he touched and influenced all of us. I'd like to share a little story that I've told many times about meeting Joey. I grew up in a small town in South Dakota called Yankton, and it had a main drag that everybody cruised on called Broadway. Now we lived at the end of Broadway next to the Missouri River in a big old yellow house. Growing up as a kid, like everybody else, folks teach you good manners. So when I first met Joe, they were all at the big yellow house with the band. They just played Sioux Falls. Kathy brought her Joey over to me and she goes, "This is my little brother Tom." So I stood up, shook his hand firmly, and said, "It's really nice meeting you, Joey." I was 8 years old. So I stood straight. Oh, here we go. I got ahead of myself here. Now, growing up with a rock star for a brother-in-law and a sister who had a modeling career and actually had her own TV commercial, sort of had its challenges. For example, I'd go to sleep over at friends' house like we all did when we were kids. Sometimes we'd stay up late enough, watch the midnight special, and to see the latest musical acts hosted by Wolfman Jack. And I hear Wolfman Jack announce, "Ladies and gentlemen, it's Bad Big Guy." Yeah, I get really excited. I go over there and said, I point to the screen. So that's my brother-in-law. My sister's married to that guy. And in a little town in South Dakota, that doesn't go over very well. But the next morning, you get up, still catching heat from my friends about the unbelievable story about the guy in the midnight special. So we're having breakfast and I'm watching the morning television. And sure enough, a Hilux bleach commercial would come on with the genie in the jug. Genie's my sister. She's almost married to the guy in, Manfinger. But this didn't help my situation. So I was known as the crazy kid in the big yellow house at the end of Broadway. And today's, you probably call me kids got parties in his head. But I learned a very important lesson, and I was very lucky to have those two in my life. And I had to be humble, which brings me to Joy, who was very humble. We've all heard him in the interviews, and every time he would say, I was in the right place at the right time. Why me, he'd say in the interview. I'm just an average Joe that got lucky. We all know Joey never really lost that. He always stayed incredibly humble and gracious. He never had a rock and roll star attitude. I remember a show, he played along with Rick Derringer. Rick played his guitar and he signed it. Joe was pretty excited. He was like, holy, Rick Derringer played and signed my guitar. Can you believe that? Right, Rick Derringer. I have a lot of stories about hanging out with Joey and meeting other rock and roll stars that he played with, that he was so excited to do, he was even a little intimidated. But he always remained humble and maintaining, I'm just an average Joe that got lucky. Now, whenever Joey played his own shows, he always went out of his way for his fans, signing autographs exactly how they wanted it, taking the extra time and listening through their stories of their love of music, and not just Joey's music. Because we all know Joey loved everybody's music, but there was a few exceptions. When Joey was not on the road, he always made time for his family, his extended family, his friends, and even all his pet dogs that he had. And he always made time to go see his best pals and bandmates play throughout the Twin Cities. Sometimes get up on stage with them, get the audience pumped up, like he does. He might have been a little guy, but he was a giant on stage. Now I believe everybody in this room, and for the people outside that are listening and watching on the big screen, and for those who are watching live stream, that we're all humble in knowing Joey. And that all of us were very lucky to have known Joey. And maybe we were all in the right place at the right time. Thank you. God bless.